everybody, Matt O'Ree back here with you. Once again, welcome back to Mob on TV. This is episode number 10 and the last episode in this series that I'm doing. Guitar instruction, again, if you want private instruction, please email me at any point. So this is episode number 10, and we're talking about the final guitar player that influenced me a ton. This is to Eddie Van Halen. Okay, the different licks that he used, we're going to explore a few of them today. So we might actually get more than two. So the first one is one that he utilized. Again, Eddie always tuned down a half step in the earlier days with David Lee Roth, but we're still staying in standard tuning for the lesson today. So we're utilizing the A minor pentatonic, and the scale goes as follows. Now, Eddie also added the flat at fifth in this case too, so let me just go ahead and put that in there. So Eddie's view of how the pentatonic is used was slightly different than everybody else, which is what made him so unique. So he used this first lick that appears in Eruption. It also appears in I'm the One in a different key, and I think in even another song too as well. But it's a pretty cool lick that you can use in the key of A. It starts with the open E string. Then to the B string, we're going to do a pull-off. Also pulling off on the open B. So it's open E, 8th fret B, pull off to 5, pull off to open, land on the flatted 5th, 8th fret G string. Kind of a weird sounding collection of notes when you play it slow. I've seen a lot of guys on the internet play that not quite correctly. It's the same notes, but as far as I've seen, Eddie always started with the open E. But of course you could take any of these licks and make them your own and do it your own way. But this is how that I've been known, knew of the way that Eddie played it. And of course you put a little bit of palm muting with it. Another great lick. Now, I don't think Eddie played it this way, but you could incorporate the hybrid picking method of the right hand and pick the first note with your middle finger. I've been known to do that. And then, of course, you have to add the instant Eddie Van Halen in a box, the original 1974 MXR Phase 90. Now the interesting thing about the Phase 90 with the Trainwreck amp, and why does it squeal like that? Well, the Phase 90 is also giving you not only the phaser sound, but it also gives you a slight treble boost. And there's already enough treble in a Trainwreck amp. So by adding that pedal, you might hear a little bit of that squealing noise. But we're still going to use the pedal for today's demonstration since we are talking about Eddie Van Halen. So again, the first lick, slower pace, open E, 8th fret B string, pull off to 5, pull off to open B. 8th fret on the G string. Repeat. Could change the fingering. Whatever's easier for you. He also did the same lick over the B pentatonic in I'm the One. So all I did is take that lick that we started with in the A, and I moved it up a whole step, 2 frets. That's the hybrid picking method without it. Okay, so the next lick, the second lick, actually would be the third because we got this in 2 different positions. So the next one, that also went from the key of A again to the key of B. The next lick, we're going to scoot over to the key of D. Still minor pentatonic in the key of D. But this is something really cool from the song I'm the One, where Eddie took the very first idea I showed you in episode number 1. So we're kind of bookending this. Here's episode number 10, the last episode of my little series. Well, we're going back to episode number 1 where we started with using, Eddie took the same concept that Jimi Hendrix was using of bending one string and releasing to another. But Eddie's lick starts like this. But now come down on the G. Now do it again, but with the flat at 5th. 12, also 11, chromatic, 10, root note. So here's our lick. I'll play it faster, and then of course we'll slow it down. It's even faster when Eddie does it, I'm sure. Okay, so slow this down. Rocking of the first finger, Chuck Berry style. Okay, come down on the G string 12th fret. 10. Back to the same bend, 13th fret B. Come down on the 13th fret G. 12, 11, 10, 12. D string. So for more information, if you're just tuning in now on how this lick really works with the right muting of the right hand, go back to episode number 1. Okay, so again. Interesting thing with that flat at 5th ending, that he worked chromatically down the G string. And of course with some attitude. Okay, the third final lick is not going to be a rendition from me. It's going to be another lick from the same song. Now, so many people talk about, of course, Eruption being this unbelievable piece, a guitar piece, and which it absolutely is. But I still think that some of his best guitar playing lies in that song, I'm the One, from the first record. Speaking of first records, check out this picture. Yes, that's a 1978 stereo out of my 1978 Trans Am, and right next to that picture, in the picture, is Van Halen 1 on 8-track. So if you've never seen an 8-track but have heard about it, that's actually what it looks like. It was a really terrible medium. It sounds like crap, but it was the first portable medium to be able to play albums that you wanted in your car. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's get back to it. I'm the One. This particular lick does this. Again, now we're in the key of E, minor pentatonic, but Eddie adds a few other notes to the pentatonic, and I'm going to play the scale for you as he uses it. Interesting thing to do with the pentatonic. You can add the 14th fret in this case, so 15, 14, 12, same thing on the B string, 15, 14, 12, and of course on the G string, same thing, giving us the flat at 5th, D string, 2 notes, A string, flat at 5th, E string, 2 notes. So the lick goes like this. Okay, so now let's skip to the end just for a second, because that rocking of that finger that we talked about, of course, in the Eric Clapton and the Eric Johnson video, you can really see it in this particular riff. So let me play it again for you slow and explain it a little bit. So double bend, E string, 2 pull-offs, and you can hear the, of course, the bend, release, pull-off. Bending with vibrato. Okay. Really cool lick. One more time slow, because it's a lot of notes to remember, but this is the end of the series, so I had to give you something to do some homework on. Awesome. Thank you so much to Eddie Van Halen for all your inspiration. Again, I hope you had a good time on this little journey, a 10-week episode series of guitar instruction of different licks from different famous artists. Remember, I do teach privately, so reach out anytime. I'd be happy to help you with your guitar playing skills and needs. Remember, my website is mattoreaband.com. The YouTube channel is Mob on TV. Become a subscriber. We'll see you next series. Something else really cool is coming up. Don't worry. See you next time. Thank you.